Christian, can you just talk about that moment when you hear your name called and just how you felt?
Yeah, I think it was a huge relief. I mean, it's awesome. I think the Sharks are an awesome team. No, it was a great moment. Really excited. So, yeah.
Who's here with you?
So, 10 people, my parents, my girlfriend, my sister, my goalie coach, my agent. So, yeah, quite a few guys.
Did you have a kind of a sense that this is where you would go, or did you think maybe earlier or maybe later?
No, I thought fourth round would be it. So, no, pretty much where I thought where I was heading.
Obviously from Switzerland, there's from Swiss, right? Timo Meyer is here. Just the Sharks continuing to bring in players. What's it mean to know that like the Sharks are looking in regions like Switzerland, right? There's places where hockey players can be found in there.
Yeah, I think it's awesome. It's an honor. I mean, Swiss player and Timo Meyer obviously being there, it's great. So it's cool. Yeah.
Just for you, as your game, obviously later in the round, maybe some Sharks fans may not compare your game most to. Who can you relate to an NHL goalie that you'd like to compare your game to?
I would say Hellebuyck. He's also a tall guy who skates well and reads the game pretty well, so I can relate to him, I think. Yeah.
For you next season, where do you plan on playing? Obviously, what's the next step to bring up next?
So I'll be in Green Bay in the USHL for a year or two, and then moving to UMass to college there. Got a commitment like 2 years ago already, so I'll be there.
Growing up, watching Timo Meyer play, was the Sharks one of your favorite teams when you were growing up watching him play?
Not really, to be honest. I mean, I always loved the logo as well, the colors of the team. Obviously, Timo Meyer, one of the best Swiss players to play there, so I've watched them quite a lot, but maybe not like the main team because I don't think they really had the best goalies till kind of Blackwood was there. I think he's an awesome guy, so I do watch him quite a lot. But, yeah, so.
As a Swiss goalie, Jonas Hiller,
I think he's a bit an all-star goalie, so it's hard to kind of watch him. I didn't really like his style, his body language wasn't like. I watched him when he came back to Switzerland after the NHL, but I didn't really follow him that much. So, yeah.
What do you like about Blackwood? His game.
I think just the way he moves, it looks so smooth. He's so flexible, and I think he's so good at everything. I think as soon as he has better guys in front of him, better defenders that help him a bit more, it's going to be an awesome team. So, yeah.
And you mentioned Hellebuyck as a goalie. You model yourself after. Anybody else that you really model your game after?
That's a good question. So I think it's hard kind of compare yourself to another goalie because every goalie is different. So I just try watching other guys. I mean, one guy's good at skating, the other one has like great hip mobility. So I think there are a lot of awesome goalies, but it's hard to really just compare one-on-one. But I think Hellebuyck is a good example to compare him with.
Other than your height, what is your best asset that you bring as a goaltender?
I think my skating. So like my skating, my feet is really good. It just helps move around the crease really quick. So I'm an explosive skater who can control his big body. So I think a lot of big goalies, they're more like blockers and can't skate that well. So it really helps.
And how about your puck handling skills? Are they pretty decent as well?
I think I can work on that. So it's definitely something I'm working on. But I think it's just not that much talent is needed for that, but just a lot of hard work to get better at it. So, yeah.
Age you started playing?
When I was 7. Yeah. I love the gear. I mean, you just look like a transformer, obviously. When you're small, you just look huge. And then you see these 2-meter guys. It was really the gear that kind of got me to the position. So.
At what age did you start to think, I might be able to turn pro or get drafted? So I'll start maybe as
Yeah. 4 or 5 years ago, I was pretty active with 13 probably. That's when I knew I got some talent, was better than a few other guys. Made into the national team, I think. As soon as I made into like the U17 team or the underage U18 World Juniors, I knew I was something like someone who can achieve something. So yeah.
See you there. Thanks again. Congratulations.
Sharks been right in this game.
What's it like to be part of this group now?
Oh, that's awesome. I mean, so many great players that got drafted in the last years. Excited to meet all of them, and it's going to be awesome. I think it's a great group, so yeah.
Do you know anyone inside the Sharks organization, or are you familiar with anybody, whether it's players, front office, coverage?
No, not really. I mean, I've had some interviews, but yeah, that's it. So.
Who did you interview? Oh.
How do you approach something like that? Coming into a team, obviously, you're not going to be there right away. But if you're planning on being a development camp, coming into a team, just how do you kind of make yourself part of the group? What is the best way to kind of take away those nerves and come into a fresh room?
I think just, communicate with the other players, just be friendly to each other, talk with them. So that's, I think, just socialize. That's going to help me, and then show everyone that I'm a hard worker to gain their respect. And so, yeah.
I feel like since it's a goalie, a little easier to connect with the other goalies.
Yeah.
On the Sharks, who did you interview with, and did you have a good feeling talking with the Sharks in the kind of draft process?
It wasn't probably the team that was most interested in me. So I had like 2 interviews maybe with them. But there were definitely other teams that were a bit more interested in me and already told me like, okay, we want to take you this position or this position. But I love the location. So I would say it's awesome there. So yeah, really excited.
Can you say who maybe liked you? Do you have a chip on your shoulder? About any teams?
No, I don't know. Sorry. I don't know.
Smaller ice,
So we played a few tournaments over there. I practiced a few times. Was Green Bay? They had like a camp there where we just played games. So I do have experience with it, but it's obviously a change as bigger ice is a bit slower. But you get used to it, so it's. So it's, I think the angles kind of the players, just the angles, the speed. Everything just happens a bit faster than the bigger ice. There are more high quality chances as the shots come more from inside the boards, so it's just everything's closer.
What did it take to just kind of get used to that, like to get into the USA Challenge?
I think it's going to definitely take a few games. And then like maybe 3 or 4 games to really get used to it. A lot of practice. So, but then I think it's not going to be a problem.
As a Swiss player, we kind of see every year more and more Swiss players kind of coming into the league. Why do you think that is? Why do you think the sport has kind of taken off among maybe younger players over the past, let's say, 10 years or so?
I think the guys back in Switzerland, they just do a better job. They understand the game more. They like the coaches, everything. They just try to learn from other countries as well, which are obviously a bit bigger nations like US. They learn from these guys, and then that really helps them develop their own Swiss players. And yeah, I think that's the main difference.
Is the closest you've been to San Jose so far? So being in Las Vegas is the closest you've been?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Have you ever been to California?
No, haven't been. But my sister's gonna go study there, do her MBA there. But never been. But yeah, development camp's probably gonna be there. So
It's a good reason now to come back and visit them, right?
yeah.
Where's she going to school?
Berkeley. That's in California, right?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's very close to San Jose. It's like an hour north.
Oh, yeah. Good.
So yeah, it's not Los Angeles, so you're fine.
Yeah, good.
Thanks.
Congrats.